Hi, everybody. Welcome into this week's show here on JTV. Besides some rain, the weather has been great for spring sports to begin these last 2 weeks. And great weather for some golf. And that's how we start off today's show with Augusta National. So thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency, West Michigan's family-driven insurance solution provider. I am David Rice. That is Sir Adam Bragginser.
I'm a sir?
Yes.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you.
Yeah. Did you watch any of the Masters throughout the weekend?
Only saw a few snippets of it on Sunday. Usually if I'm going to watch it at all, it'd be Sunday. But a little bit of it. I saw that McIlroy had a lead for a while. I mean, after round 2, he looked really good. So I thought it was going to be kind of a runaway, but it was close.
I think it was the first time ever that the person who leads after day one, they had the lead all 4 days.
Yeah.
So, McIlroy becomes the 4th player ever to win back-to-back green jackets.
And look at how
Augusta.
look at how long it took for him to win one.
Right.
You know, and then now he's got 2 in a row, so that's awesome to see.
Finished at 12 under. Last player to win back-to-back, Tiger.
I was going to say, I know that one.
In 01-02, Sir Nick Faldo and Jack Nicklaus were the other two. He briefly lost the lead on Sunday, like you just mentioned. He had the lead. Bogeyed on 18, but was still able to win by one shot. His driver shot on 18, hooked right into the trees, got stuck behind a few big trees, and had to hit out of the brush there.
That 18 is that's a nightmare hole for some people. You know, I've seen some meltdowns on 18 at Augusta, so glad that he was able to hang on.
Well, and what a comeback. I was pulling for Scotty Scheffler. What a comeback for him, because Thursday and part of Friday, he did not play well
I thought
at
he
all.
was out. I thought he was going to be out of it for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure. He came into the practice round 4 breakfast sandwiches in his hand going to the range. Kept him in his bag. They kept cutting to him, and he's just hammering down on them throughout the day.
Needs
just
that
like
fuel.
one of us.
Yeah, he needs that fuel to get him through 18.
Yep. So what a comeback by him. He only finished one shot behind McIlroy, second place. He's actually the first golfer since World War II to have no bogeys in either of the final 2 rounds. No bogeys at all.
So crazy. If he wouldn't have done that, that would have been an easy win. If he wouldn't have struggled.
He went from a couple water shots in the early rounds to bogey-free Saturday and Sunday.
Made the adjustments.
So, great Masters overall. It was funny. Somebody, because they don't allow phones at Augusta. I don't know if you saw this.
I heard about this. I did.
Somebody got kicked out. I think it was Thursday because they came in with the Meta glass.
Oh, that's what it was?
They came in wearing the Meta.
I know somebody tried to film.
Smart
I didn't realize.
glasses. Filming it, because you can film on those.
Yeah.
So they were kicked out for wearing the glasses.
They got these things, because you know how they have like the little light right here, so you know that people have found ways of like covering it. And I don't know if they came out with like a later model or a patch or something to where you couldn't do that anymore, and then somebody immediately found a new way to cover it up. So it's like, that's going to be a problem.
Right. I have not been to Augusta National before. I mean, most people haven't. It's a dream. It's a lottery how they do it to get tickets. My dad's been lucky enough. He went a couple years ago when it like poured rain every day. And all those people that are sitting at those holes, you can actually leave your chair there.
That's right.
So when doors open at like 7 a.m. and they start playing at 8:30, whatever, you can put your chair at wherever, and they have a slot in the back of the chair. You put your name on it. So you can put your chair, let's say, at 18 when you get there in the morning, and you can leave it there and go walk around, whatever. But somebody else can sit in your chair if you're not there.
Oh, okay.
But then You
get back and they
but then
gotta
you
go.
get your chair back
Yeah.
if you come back.
That's cool. I was wondering, like, other than hole 18, like, where would be a good place to set up for
Amen Corner.
Amen Corner?
That's I can't remember the exact holes. I think it's 14, 15, 16.
I just didn't know because it's like
where the bridge is.
Oh yes, of course. Well,
with the water.
Yeah, because like I know of course like you go to concerts and it's the mad dash to the front, but there's so many different spots at Augusta that I'm like I wonder where everybody wants to be.
Yeah,
because you see people all over the place. So
right. It was cool before they started the live coverage at 2 on CBS Sunday at noon. They showed an hour documentary on the 1986 Masters when Jack Nicklaus came back and won.
Yeah.
And at that time, 46 was considered old to win a big tournament like that. And they actually had some part of an interview with Jack.
Oh, wow.
And they also had interviews with Jim Nantz, Vern, and Brent Musburger.
Oh, that's cool.
And that was cool.
Yeah.
And they showed behind the scenes of the production, which I wanted to point out a couple of things on CBS's production from Sunday. Not great at the end. It happened twice. That final pairing that they showed at the end with McIlroy and Cameron Young on 18, McIlroy's shot out of the sand to get onto the green to win. They lost his ball where his shot went.
Oh, no.
So they cut to just a camera just sitting wide on the green in the bunker at 18, and there's no ball. They didn't find it, and they sat on it for a long time.
Oh, no.
Then same thing with Cameron Young's shot. And normally they show the trophy presentation on there, too, after the green jacket. They didn't show that either. They had it on Golf Channel after, but they didn't even promote it or anything.
Normally, like,
you had to go to Golf Channel. If you went to it, it was on there.
I don't know why they wouldn't include that in the broadcast. I don't know if they ran out of time or what, because that's always would be how the broadcasts were capped, like back in the day, I remember.
Well, it was only 60 minutes they showed after. That's not important.
Yeah.
So, no big deal. I don't know why they didn't show it. But no, in that documentary was cool. They showed behind the scenes. And with golf, that's the hardest sport to do a broadcast for. Because it's not like it's just two teams playing.
It's all over the place.
There's always somebody golfing at all 18 holes. So most of the shots that you see when you're watching golf aren't live.
Correct.
They're all playing back on tape machines.
That's why Jim Nantz is always like, let's head back to whatever hole to see you can tell that it's kind of, pre-taped at times.
And they have commentators at different holes, too.
Yeah.
And then they also mentioned, I forget what golfer it was, there was a player on Sunday, he was on the green, he missed a putt so bad it rolled all the way back down into the water, and they just kind of lightly mentioned it. They didn't even show it or anything.
Oh, wow.
So, overall production broadcast not as good this year. And ESPN did the par 3 contest on Wednesday, and that was a disaster.
Why?
Because they had non-golf people that they're trying to put in everybody's face.
Of course.
And get them to be like a new do all sports. Guess who they had as a commentator for the par 3? Jason Kelsey.
Interesting. Yeah, that's ESPN.
Yeah, that was corny.
That's
bad.
ESPN for you.
They had him walking around doing interviews. He was wearing the white caddy jumpsuit, too. Looked a little tight on him.
I bet.
They had him try the different foods, the pimento cheese, and the different sandwiches. And then they had him caddy for Akshay Bhatia. And actually, Jason did one swing.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. But overall, it's not very good TV-wise for it this year. And with the Masters, it's a year-by-year basis. CBS, even though they've done it every year since like the 80s, whatever, it's a year-by-year contract. So, looking back now, if Augusta National says we don't like how they did it this past year, they'll just give it to another network for next year.
Who would they go to, though? That's the problem.
NBC, Golf Channel.
Does NBC do golf?
Yes.
Okay,
If
I didn't
it's
know if they
CBS that doesn't do golf, it's NBC.
Yeah. Then, it could always go to NBC. But,
Yep. Mike Tirico on the Masters next year.
Well, didn't Jim Nantz give didn't he say something like he was only going to be doing
I was
the
actually
Masters.
just going to bring that up, too.
Yeah.
So Jim Nance has always said he wants to retire after he does his 50th Masters tournament.
Okay.
Which would be 2055.
What the heck? Oh my gosh.
Or I'm
That can't be
sorry,
right.
2035.
Okay, I was gonna say.
sorry.
I was like, what?
But somebody pointed out to him when he told that to somebody, that person said, well, 2036 would be your 51st, so do that because it would be the 100th playing of the Masters.
Oh, that's
They
cool.
would want Jim Nance there to give him a nice send-off. So
That's cool.
Jim Nance is going to retire after 2036.
Well, I'll
the
tell you
100th
this:
Masters.
if they want to keep Jim Nance, you ain't going to NBC. So that'd be the thing.
Well,
right?
he does the first, ESPN does the first 2 days, Thursday, Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And Jim Nance does it on there for the first 2 days. So he does the whole tournament. So ESPN and CBS partner and share announcers because ESPN doesn't do golf.
Right, and I
So
could see
Jim
that.
Nance was on ESPN.
And I could see that they needed that because maybe CBS had other programming and they wouldn't be able to show them all. But I just don't see a rival network getting Jim Nance and the Masters. You know what I mean? So I think they are kind of locking them in, even though it's a year-by-year thing. I feel like the pressure is to keep them at least through.
Yeah, and I don't think
that.
it'll change because they've done it every year
Right.
since the 80s.
Right.
But if it did move, and actually another additional TV partner this year was Prime Video. They did 1 to 3 p.m. the first 2 days. And then ESPN picked it up after that.
I mean, eventually it's going to be like every hole is going to be a different, is going to be a different streaming service. If you want to watch the 13th, you have to go on Netflix, and the 14th is on Prime Video. 15th hole is going to be on Hulu. Like, it's ridiculous.
You're right.
It's so crazy.
But I know we have high school sports to get to here, but one more thing. While we're on the topic of streaming services and different networks, last week it came out that the FCC is investigating Disney and ABC Sports into NFL's antitrust TV exemptions, that whole thing. It's complicated. So basically, to dumb it down here, the FCC is investigating the NFL into why they don't have more games on the main over-the-air networks and why they are only doing some games to streaming exclusive, like Netflix has all the Christmas games. There's a couple weeks where NBC doesn't have all the Sunday Night Football games. It's only Peacock for a few weeks. Those kinds of issues. The FCC is investigating that. It goes back to the bill that was passed in 1963, I believe, where leagues are allowed to, networks are allowed to pool their money together, essentially, to be able to all come together and pay for these crazy, price tags for these leagues. So they are investigating, and basically what the FCC chairman has said is that they're going to push. They can't necessarily mandate it because of that law. They'd have to go back and change it, but push to have more games be also on over-the-air channels, your CBS, Fox, ABC. And I agree with them.
Yeah.
100%. Now, is streaming the future? Yes, and it's pretty much already here.
But it needs to be revamped. We can't have
Yes.
17 different streaming services all having the NFL.
Right. And baseball's headed there too because Apple TV Plus.
I hated when they introduced that.
Oh, I hate it.
Because I don't need Apple TV for anything. So when the Tigers are on there, it's either I can't watch them.
I'm not going to pay
Or I have to
just
pay
to
for a
watch
month.
3 Tigers games
Yeah.
on there. People are complaining about, well, I need 18 different streaming services to watch baseball. Number one, if you don't want to pay for it, then just don't watch. Live with it. One, you don't have to pay for it. And two, the Tigers are only going to be on Apple 3 times out of 162 games. No need to complain about it if they're on there 3 times.
Yeah. It's just the greed of it is the frustrating thing.
Oh, no, and I agree. It is frustrating. Like, the Pistons game 1 of their series is Sunday night at 6:30, they're going to be on NBC and Peacock. And the comments on their social media this morning I'm reading, because I read a lot of those comment sections. They're like, oh, I'm going to have to pay for Peacock. It's on NBC too, so no, you don't have to pay for Peacock. And people are like, well, I don't have cable. Yeah. NBC is not on cable. It's one of the 4 that's over the air. You can literally get it on any streaming, cable, YouTube TV, antenna.
It's just dumb people complaining, not reading what they should read. I do want to say one thing. I don't know if I've mentioned it on here or if I said this to somebody and personally or what, but Britain has a rule, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's in England.
I think I know where you're going.
Yeah, where it's like if the event that's going to be broadcast is deemed like culturally relevant to the country, it must be on free airways. That's just a rule that they have. And it's like, I feel like that's the direction that the U.S. should kind of go with some of this stuff. Because I don't want there eventually to be like, you know what? Apple TV paid, $20 billion to be able to get the Super Bowl. So now the Super Bowl is exclusively going to be on there. Like that.
Which
I don't want that kind of stuff.
I just saw yesterday, somebody in sports media has said in the near future, when the NFL renegotiates their contracts, you could see Prime Video getting a Super Bowl.
I hate that. I think that's just completely wrong.
And the only markets that it would that would show Prime Video's broadcast is the home cities of the 2 teams that are in it. So if it's Green Bay and they can't play each other's Super Bowl, let's say Green Bay, Detroit. Mm-hmm. Only Green Bay, Milwaukee, and then Detroit TV market would have it on there over the air.
That's so messed up. That's not how it should work,
Right. So I'm glad the FCC is stepping in and saying, hey, this is BS. We need to fix this. Now, which we'll talk about the NBA playoffs after the break, but Prime Video has the first 4 NBA playoff games in a row on Prime Video Saturday and Sunday.
That's just crazy.
So I'm glad they're stepping in and saying, hey, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So when they're renegotiating, which they are right now, because they still need to find that 4 or 5 game package to somebody, take that into consideration. I don't have a problem with it being on streaming services, but it also needs to be on their regular channel. So if it's on Peacock still, it needs to be on regular NBC. That's my point.
Yeah.
Or if something's on CBS, that's fine, of course, and Paramount Plus. It needs to be on both.
Right.
I'm glad the UFC is the one league that has done that, because the UFC is finally on. They were on CBS this past Saturday, not just Paramount.
It was, the
first
I will
couple
say it was,
fights.
Yeah, I will say it was the prelims, but still, I mean.
But still.
And we're talking about a company that, I totally get what you're saying, but, the pay-per-views are what's on Paramount. Instead of having to pay $50, $60 a month to get it, now that's part of your Paramount subscription. I'm good for that kind of stuff. I'm good for, the savings with that. But I just hate the idea of taking something that should be free and locking it behind a paywall. I just think it's wrong.
Right. Which even for college and local high school sports, that makes it even worse. Because we've talked about NFHS before. I'm not going to go down that again, but we've mentioned it before.
That should be on free TV.
That's high school sports should not be behind a paywall.
Right.
Writing, all the different newspaper outlets now are behind a paywall. If a mom, her son or daughter hits 3 home runs in a baseball game, or his daughter scores 30 points in a playoff game, they want to be able to read it. They shouldn't have to pay $5 to read an article about Grass Lake so-and-so basketball on a Wednesday afternoon.
And like I said, the one thing that they did do that I will give them credit for is they've taken these locations that wouldn't normally have any video, and at least you're able to watch these regular season games.
But the product the product isn't good.
But you can argue it's better than nothing, right? It's better than not having anything.
Normally, I would say yes, but with how bad that product is, I don't include that in there.
Right. But you can understand where I'm coming from, where it's like, but the finals, those need to be on TV. Everybody should be able to tune in for that.
Which, sure, it was a premium cable channel, but FanDuel and Bally have had Fox Sports, whatever it's been called. They've had the football and basketball finals for the MHSA on TV before this year. Every single year since 1990,
Yep.
It's been on TV.
I remember finding old clips in the Silverdome, and it was a Fox Sports Detroit broadcast. So it's like, it's been around for quite some time.
This week and last week on JTV Sports Vault, we're showing a throwback to the year 2000, Lumen Christie's football playoff
Road to the
run.
Dome.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had a lot of fun going back and
I bet that was cool.
watching that old footage.
I've seen it when I've walked by the screen or, it's playing. I'll stand there and look at it for a little bit, and it's fun to watch that old footage. It's really cool.
So, but no, anyways, I'm glad they're stepping in, though, and saying, hey,
Me too.
This isn't right. I have no problem with it being on, Peacock, Paramount Plus, whatever, but if you're going to do that, it also needs to be on regular NBC.
Right.
Because would you rather see, if you're NBC, money-wise too, would you rather have a triple header of baseball or basketball, football, whatever, or have one game, have it cut off at 9 and show a rerun of Chicago Fire and have the game only on Peacock?
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing I will
Just
credit.
think smart.
I will credit NBC is like a lot of the times when they show something primetime on Peacock, they're showing it on NBC too, so I'll give them credit for it. But
that's actually the one network that's my favorite network to watch any game on is NBC, because production-wise they do such a good job. They have good announcers for everything, and they are the only network out of the big four to show any of the 4 major league sports during the week. ABC, CBS, they only show sports on the weekend. NBC, they show games during the week, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, so it's just like if they do that, I'm totally good with that if they show it on the actual channel. But ultimately what it comes down to is the greed of these companies. That's ultimately what it comes down to. If I'm Prime, I'm like, well, I'm just going to bid a little bit more and make it out of reach for all these other smaller, networks and stuff like that. So they can't do it. And those leagues are the ones that are just like, yeah, we'll take your money, and not really looking towards what's good for the fans. It's what's good for our pocketbooks, and that's the issue.
And unfortunately, they know, even though people are going to complain about it more and more, which they are, and I'm glad people are complaining about it, they still know that these fans are going to pay for it, so that's why they do it. But that's on the fans' part, because you're complaining about it, but why do you still buy it?
Yeah, but
send them a message and show them. Don't buy it.
But, it's tough. Like, that happens to you, and let's say Green Bay's in the Super Bowl. What are you going to do? You're going to buy Prime Video so you can watch it. You're going to get whatever. So that's the issue. Like, I could run in that same thing with the Tigers. But
also, if you're Amazon, how many people pay for Prime Video? I know that's not the point, but how many people pay for Prime Video?
Right.
They know millions and millions already have it. So by them paying to get a Super Bowl in the rotation, you know what I mean?
But that's not, what they care about is just getting exclusive rights so they can put out advertisements saying, hey, we have this, and, promote themselves through that. It's all screwed up, dude.
Right.
It's all screwed up. That's what I'm taking away from this conversation.
Yeah.
The world's messed up.
It's been like that.
Well, yeah.
So, anyways.
It's getting more messed up.
Yeah. Thank you, politics. Anyways, going back to our original point here, the production from CBS was not good. So that was our whole point, and we went off to that.
Yeah, that's fine.
So before we go to break, quick high school sports update. Second full week of spring sports season last week. Couple of good baseball teams having a nice start to the year. Grass Lake 5-0, Columbia Central 5-1. I went to Columbia Central Leslie last week on Tuesday. Leslie's had a rough start to the year. They're 1-4, and Columbia took care of business in the first game of the doubleheader on Tuesday. So Columbia's 5-1, Grass Lake's 5-0. Those two are going to be competing for the Cascades title again this year. I think both baseball and softball, Grass Lake have won the Cascades for 5 years in a row now, both. Springport 6-1, Lumen and Michigan Center both 4-2. Saturday night, Lumen played at Jackson High School under the lights Saturday night. I went to that, and it was a good game. Final score was 13-3, but that didn't really indicate what happened. Jackson led 1-0 after the fourth inning. Lumen scored all 13 of their runs in the fifth, sixth, and seventh inning.
I thought you were about to say an all in one inning. I was going to say, what on earth? But
no.
Yeah.
Softball, Columbia Grass Lake both undefeated. Hanover 5-2. Just like the last couple years, those three are all going to be competing for the conference title again. And then two undefeated girls soccer teams. Grass Lake is 3-0. They beat Columbia this past Friday. First time they've beaten Columbia in girls soccer since 2023. And Western is 5-0. So shout out to them. And they've only allowed 2 goals in the 5 games so far. So coming up on today's show, NBA playoffs are set. Also, speaking of TV, Mike Breen had a comment to say.
I'll be curious to hear it.
And we'll fill out our NBA playoff bracket. Play-in tournament begins Tuesday and Wednesday this week. Also, Tigers played a lot better this weekend. They're 7-9. Another fantastic outing from Tarek Skubal on Sunday.
Took a no-hitter into the 6th, I believe.
Yep. Kevin McGonigal, first career home run on Sunday. Parker Meadows injury update. And hockey that will not include the Detroit Red Wings.
We don't need to talk about hockey.
And at the end of the show, I have a couple things to share for on this day or this week in sports history.
Ooh, all right.
So when we come back, NBA playoff schedule, we'll tell you who the Pistons may be playing, and we'll fill out our playoff bracket. So that's coming up. Welcome back here on JTV. Thank you to Prate's Place, helping us bring you today's show on JTV. Tigers baseball and Grass Lake baseball. Anything Grass Lake happening at Prate's Place. So look for all the Tiger games on the TVs there. Weekly specials. And now that it's nicer outside, outdoor seating there too.
This would be a perfect day for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Although we can't get away from the rain.
That's true.
So maybe that's not good for outside seating.
I'm glad we're talking about weather right now.
Why?
Oh, just because everybody loves when we talk about the weather. So I just wanted to mention that, it's rainy outside, but it still feels great. I went over to the Dirty Bird to pick up some food, and it feels great outside right now.
Yeah. So thank you to Prate's Place in downtown Grass Lake. Scan the QR code, order online, and order for pickup as well, pratesplace.com. So the NBA playoffs start this week. Regular season ended on Sunday. All 30 teams played on Sunday. Play-in tournament is Tuesday and Wednesday. Pistons locked up the number 1 seed, and 3 teams in the NBA had 60 wins or more. And for the first time in quite a few years, every single team, including the play-in, except for one, has a winning record.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I'm looking at
everybody except for the Warriors.
Yeah, crazy.
So, and that's rare because people are tanking now. You sit out. So good for the league, I guess, and good for fans to actually have teams who are, 500 is still winning record, but it's better than the past couple years where the 7 and 8 seeds have been like below 500, and it's been awful. So, all right, I already filled mine out before the show. I know you're doing yours as we go.
Yes.
So start with the play-in. Left side, Western Conference, I have Clippers and Suns playing, both winning their play-in games.
Yeah, I think that one's easy. I don't trust the Trailblazers against the Suns, and then the Warriors are just.
Well, I have Portland beating Phoenix, so Portland gets the 7 seed.
Oh, okay. I have the Suns.
So the 7-8 winner gets the 7 seed.
I forgot that's how they did that. Yeah, it is weird.
So I have Portland getting the 7 seed against San Antonio, and then I have Phoenix beating the Clippers to get the 8 seed.
Okay,
and then
gotcha.
On the other side, I have the Hornets getting the 8 seed. Hornets have been sneaky good this year. DraftKings actually has Con Knipple as the betting favorite now over Cooper Flagg for Rookie of the Year.
Really? I mean, he deserves it if he wins it. He's had an unbelievable year.
Either of them can win it. I think everybody's okay with either one.
Sure.
Although Cooper Flagg's numbers have been ridiculous. But for some reason, people factor in the team's record. So
for me, Rookie of the Year, that should not be the only award.
I know, but for most
MVP.
Awards, they factor in the team's records, and that sucks because Dallas was so bad this year.
Right.
Cooper Flagg was carrying them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But anyways, I have Charlotte beating Philly to get the 8 seed, and then I have the Magic getting the 7 seed.
I have the same as you for the play-in.
All right, Western first round, I have OKC sweeping Phoenix.
Yeah, that won't be a great series for Phoenix. I think OKC is just going to steamroll them.
Going into the season, if you would have thought you would think the Lakers Rockets would be a fantastic first round series.
Yeah.
KD and crew against LeBron and Luka. But Luka and Austin Reeves are still out, and we don't know when they'll be back. LeBron cannot carry that Lakers team. So I think Rockets, no chance that the Lakers beat them. So,
and I'll say this: if the Lakers were fully healthy, it'd
be a 7-game series.
I'd still take the Rockets, though.
It'd be a 7-game series.
Yeah, but I think this one's what do you think? 5? I'm saying 5 for the Rockets.
I'll give the Lakers 1 game.
Give them a game. Yeah, gentleman sweep.
I have Denver over Minnesota, although that's going to be a great series.
I can't wait for that one, but yeah, Denver's got a little bit too much firepower, so I got them.
And then I have San Antonio, either sweep or gentlemen's against Portland.
Yep. Same here. I say full-on sweep. Easy series for them.
Now, first round in the East, Pistons Charlotte. That's a sneaky good series because Charlotte's been playing really well. Con Knipple, Brandon Miller, LaMelo, Miles Bridges, that's going to be really good. And Cade is back now. So, fully loaded Pistons against Charlotte. I think Pistons win in 6 games against Charlotte.
I'll say 4 or 5, even though I do think the Hornets are a great team. They're just running into a juggernaut right now, and I think it's just defensively we're just on another level. So I gotta take the Pistons in. I'll say 5. We'll do another gentleman's sweep here.
I don't know if I call it too much of an upset because it's 4 or 5, but I haven't heard a lot of people talk about Toronto this year.
Yeah.
They're the 5 seed. Their best player is Brandon Ingram. He got traded there. Brandon Ingram and the Raptors have been playing really well. I'm going to take them over Cleveland first round.
I'll take Cleveland, but I don't really have faith in either of those two teams. But I'll take Cleveland. We'll give it
Brandon
we'll
Ingram,
7.
Scotty Barnes, Grady Dick, Raptors having a good year.
Yeah.
So I have New York over Atlanta and then Boston over
those
Orlando.
are easy. Yeah.
So second round, OKC Houston is going to be
great series.
Excellent.
Yes.
I still have OKC.
Same here. And we're going to differ in this next one.
Denver, San Antonio. Man, I have San Antonio winning it all. Spoiler alert. But I do think if they lose at some point, it's going to be to Denver. They don't lose to OKC. That's the one team that's been able to beat OKC this year. Toss up. That's a 7-game series.
I think.
But I have San Antonio.
And for those reasons, I have Denver winning. I think.
And for those reasons, I'm out.
I'm out. I think Denver's going to be kind of their foil, and I think if it wasn't for Denver, I think they'd get to the conference final and potentially get to the NBA finals. But I think they're going to run into Denver, and but I think it's going to be a 7-game series. I think it's like you said. I think it's going to be an awesome series, maybe one of the best in the entire bracket we have here.
Both are great cities for food. Denver, you get some good nuggets, and San Antonio.
What do you get in San Antonio? What do you get?
San Antonio, you get some good churros.
There you go. Churros and a Diet Coke.
That's right. Yep. Type 2 diabetes.
That's right.
Sign me up for that. So either way, going to be good.
Yes.
And then I have San Antonio over OKC in the Western Conference Finals.
And I got OKC going back.
Yep. And then the East, I have Detroit and the Celtics in the East Finals.
I have Detroit and the Knicks, with Detroit beating the Knicks, going to the NBA Finals and capturing the NBA championship over OKC in a 7-game series.
I like your thinking there. Now, both times Detroit has played OKC, they've been great games. But the second time they played was at OKC. Detroit only lost by a handful of points in overtime, and that was without Cade.
Yeah.
So take that how you want it.
I will say this.
I have San Antonio beating Detroit in the finals. Much as I obviously were pulling for Detroit.
Yeah, of course.
I think San Antonio and Detroit, for sure 6 games in the finals.
The thing that I'm thinking of right now
2004-5 vibes right there.
I am so on the fence. I think Denver could beat OKC, and I think Denver could get to the NBA Finals. I really do.
And why is nobody talking about Joker for MVP?
I know. Well, it's because they didn't get first place. Unfortunately, that's just such a part of the MVP award in NBA.
Team record.
It's so weird, dude. I don't know.
It sucks.
You
A
can
few
think
years ago, was it James Harden or Giannis to win MVP?
Yeah.
And they gave a slight edge to one because of what seed they were.
I think it was the last show we talked about Steve Nash. Same thing there. If those Phoenix teams weren't so dominant, I don't think he would have had it. So,
Pistons game 1 on Sunday, 6:30 p.m. on NBC and Peacock.
I'll be watching.
Yep. The first 3 games will be on Prime Video Saturday night, and the first 2 games Sunday ABC and NBC Sunday night double header. So
I did have one more thing. What did I? Oh, can I just say this real quick? I know we don't have all the time.
Oh, and I had something to say about Mike Breen too, but
yeah, real
Go
quick.
ahead.
Something I also have something that somebody said. Your favorite and mine, Kendrick Perkins.
Oh God.
They released a video on ESPN.com with.
Can
Kendrick
we kick
Perkins.
him off TV, please?
I would love that. And he said, his whole thing was, who do you think the best team in the East is? Is it the Knicks or the Celtics? No mention of Detroit at all. We're number 1.
And I was going to mention, still, the Pistons finished 60-22 this year.
How crazy is that record?
Best season since the 04-05 era.
That near dynasty of going to that core.
Yeah. Best season since that era. By far the best team in the East all year. They've had the number 1 seed in the East since November.
And also been doing some of this without Cade.
Yeah. And they're still playing well without Cade Cunningham, who, to me, is the MVP had he would have not gotten hurt.
I agree with you.
And still, not enough people on TV are talking about the Pistons and them and OKC and San Antonio being the 3 favorites to win the NBA Finals. And want to know why? Because I say it all the time, and other people do too. ESPN only likes to talk about the Lakers, Knicks, Thunder, Cowboys, Kansas City.
And I will say this, tied with all of this is the reason I have the Pistons winning it all. They're going to ride that momentum of being okay, you're going to
And they're going to force all these networks to start talking about them.
And I want a team like that. I want a team that is looking at this media and being okay, all right.
And people were surprised. Some of these commentators in these games last year were surprised when the Pistons were hanging in there with the Knicks first round. They didn't win that series, but still, they were surprised.
It was looking
and
good.
Here are the Detroit Pistons, and we're like, well, if you've watched all year like we have, why are you surprised by that?
And even more so this year. I mean, the disrespect is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be an exciting playoffs.
Yes. So Mike Breen, real quick.
Yes, Mike Breen. He mentioned, of course, Mike Breen, you know him. He does the NBA Finals for ESPN ABC.
Bang! It's that guy.
But his regular job during the week, when he's not doing ESPN, his local job is he does MSG. He does Knick games with Walt Frazier. It was their final broadcast yesterday because this is the first season ever in NBA's history where the local TV regional sports network doesn't get to cover the first round series.
I was going to say, I always remember the first round being like, Fox Sports Detroit showing the first round and stuff like that.
This is the first year where the locals do not get anything.
Yeah.
He said something about that in the fourth quarter on the MSG broadcast last night. He said, it is really a shame that the league does not throw a bone to the fans every once in a while, because he pretty much flat out said it's all about money and how much each network will pay. That's coming from the guy who does the NBA Finals and has the courage to stand up for local broadcasters. Cool. So thank you, Mike Breen. And the amount and the number of local talent that I follow on social media that I've seen repost that and make their own comment to add on to it is astounding.
Yeah.
He said it's a shame that these local broadcasters who you pay extra for, to watch FanDuel, Detroit Sportsnet, MSG, FanDuel, whatever, on, you pay extra for that. You get them for all 82 games. And then all of a sudden, you don't get them. And because the playoffs start halfway through the month of April, you're paying for that subscription still that whole month of April.
I'm glad he talked about this. Big ups to Brian for bringing this up, Big applause for him.
Thank you, Mike.
Yes.
But no, he's absolutely right. And that goes back to what we were saying about TV earlier. So I'm glad that the number one voice in the NBA for the NBA Finals, who works for one of those networks, he even said, look, I work for one of these networks. I work for the one that does the NBA Finals. But we need to stop making these games exclusive and let the fans watch it wherever they want on a service that they pay for.
Yeah.
So.
Couldn't agree more.
Absolutely. All right. When we come back, we got a couple this day and this week in sports history to share. Maybe something new I'm doing. Plus, Tigers played a lot better this past weekend. Another great outing for Tarek Skubal when we come back. All right, welcome back here on JTV. Appreciate you watching, listening. I think it was last week, or was it 2 weeks ago? We got a copyright on our YouTube, so we apologize for the delay.
That was last week. It was something to do with
you could still
March
listen
Madness.
to it and watch it on TV, but for those that watch online, we got a copyright strike, so we do apologize for the delay on that, and I will take the blame on that.
There you go. You told me.
That is true. I did tell you to put in that footage, and I learned the hard way.
Hey, it's all good, man. It's all good.
Before we go, Tigers, they were 4-9. Now they're 7-9. 3 wins in a row over the weekend. Fantastic outing on a Skubal Sunday. No hits allowed through the 6th inning.
Yeah, he looked really good. And little thing, I love Dan Petrie. Peaches, he's great. Like him in the booth. Like him when he does like the post-game show and stuff. But I will say this. He needs to not say no-hitter when there's a no-hitter going on. I don't know if you know about that superstition, but big superstition in baseball, you don't mention that. You find other ways to say it. You don't say, he has a no-hitter. And Petrie just kept bringing it up, man. He just kept saying no-hitter. And literally, I drew attention to that. I'm like, what are you doing? You can't say that. Then that's when the base hit happened. And I'm like, are you freaking serious? Like, you just don't do that. You know what I mean? You just don't do that. Superstitions, baseball, they go together. But I love you, Peaches. He's still great.
Yes.
But Skubal looked awesome. McGonigal got his first home run of the year. It was a laser beam. It was like 107 or 108 off the bat. I mean, it was a laser beam. And Dingler hit a bomb, too. I mean, he's looking good. And Colt Keith's batting 340 right now. What about that? He's batting 340.
Who would have thought?
Colt Keith, man. And McGonigal's batting 322. So we got a couple of good batters at the top of our lineup. So I'm all about that.
So the fan in the outfield that caught McGonigal's home run, he was going to keep the ball until they came over and said, we'll give you memorabilia.
Oh yeah,
And he wouldn't let it go at first.
you gotta. It's a kid's first home run ball. You gotta give it to him. You get to meet him after the game, take a picture with him, get an autograph on a bat or a
And
ball.
I think that's what he said. He said, "I'll give it back, but I want this, and this." And I think, to a certain extent, of course, the team would be like, okay.
And I would do that in a heartbeat if I never caught a home run ball on the fly like that. But like if I ever did, I would 100% give it back. The only time I wouldn't would have been like Barry Bonds, his 756 home run.
Oh,
like,
no way.
That's worth so much money. And Bonds wasn't a very nice guy to a lot of people. So it's like, and I don't even think he probably cared, but like something like that is different. But when it's like somebody's first home run, give them the ball. You won't. The experience of catching the ball and then meeting that player and getting something else signed is better than just keeping a random baseball for yourself.
Parker Meadows is out.
That injury looked bad. Did you see that?
I didn't see it live. I saw the video.
Dude.
He has a concussion, scary collision with Riley Green in the game on Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah, and he had blood coming from his mouth. It did not look good. So hope that Parker Meadows is back. We had Baez out in center field covering him. So
which is where he's best.
Yeah, he was playing pretty well out in center.
Tuesday through Thursday this week, Tigers are at home against the Royals, and then at Fenway for the weekend, Friday through Monday.
Gotta love Fenway. That's a fun park to watch.
Absolutely. Have you ever been to Fenway?
No, I would love to. I would love to. That's on my list for sure, is to go to Fenway. Fenway, Wrigley, Yankee Stadium, those are the top three that I want to go to.
Yep. Red Wings, they were eliminated on Saturday. They were up against New Jersey. Comeback by the Devils. Red Wings eliminated 10 years in a row now of no postseason. The players and coaches were booed by the fans on their way out.
Yeah, makes sense.
And before we wrap, some sports history. Maybe something we continue next week.
Yeah.
So, 10 years ago this week, the late Kobe Bryant 60 points in his last game against the Jazz and hit the game-winning jumper.
Dude.
10 years ago.
I'll never forget watching that live. And I think I remember tuning in partway through it, not seeing it from the very beginning. And it was just like, oh, I hope he does okay. And then just seeing that turn into what the game ended up being was crazy. And it was close. Look at that. Compare that to like that Bam Adebayo game. Kobe needed to make those shots in that game. They had nobody else on that team. They had to give him the ball to try to win that game. It wasn't just getting him those 60 points. It was trying to win the game.
Right.
Compared to, we're just going to foul you to try to get him to the line more.
And that's why that 83 was stupid.
Yes, correct.
Also this week, back in 1997, Tiger Woods wins the 97 Masters, his first major.
That's awesome.
And now look where he's at in 2026.
Behind bars.
Calling the president.
Calling the president.
Where the president was at one point, too. And also in NBA history, 10 years ago this week, Golden State finished with the 73-9 record.
Do you think that's the best team you've ever seen in your lifetime?
In my lifetime?
Yes. Yeah, specifically I'm asking you that.
Well, I don't have as long of a timeline to go.
Correct. But,
But, see, in my lifetime, I had the beginning of the Spurs dynasty was the start.
You had the Heat teams.
I had the very tail end of that early 2000s Pistons, but I'm not going to count that.
Yeah.
So I have the Tim Duncan, David Robinson, Spurs. Then I had LeBron, D. Wade, Bosh, Miami. And the Spurs were still good then. And then after that, the Warriors.
Well, and that's the argument that I was just going to bring up real quick, and maybe this will influence your opinion, but it's like, they won, obviously, the most games ever with that team, and they lost in the NBA Finals. Amazing NBA Finals.
That was the 3-1 Finals.
Yes, but obviously they got better. They didn't win as many games, but they got better when they got KD. So you could make an argument that that's one of the greatest teams ever, is that first KD Warriors team. But they didn't win as many games, so it's weird how,
But the best team, I think, in my lifetime, That's tough.
Yeah, because I know you want to kind of default to a team that's won the finals, but that Warriors team was unreal.
Right, and also adding KD after they've already done what they've done.
Right. Makes it a little weird, and I think it's funny they couldn't win as many games as they did without him.
Yeah. You would have thought after 73-9, Kevin Durant comes in, they're going to go
undefeated.
82-0.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to take too much time thinking about this,
good.
But what would you say in your lifetime?
Of course, I'd want to say I was just too young, so I wasn't watching, but I want to say the 97 Bulls, one of those Bulls teams, was probably the best team.
Because
I wasn't watching at that point, so...
Right, because you were still, single digit?
Yeah, I was like 3 years old. So
you don't count that.
Yeah, other
so
than
your
that,
first, I guess, dynasty in your lifetime was the three-peat Lakers.
Yes, and that's what I was going to say. I would say the 01 Lakers were a very special team to me. I really liked that team, and that was like right as I was kind of getting into watching sports. I was probably like in first grade or something like that when that was going on. So that was big, but I might still default back to that Warriors team and say that Warriors team is probably the best team I've seen, that I was actually able to watch the games, realize what was going on, and how that team kind of changed the NBA, forever. But you can make an argument that Durant team was better. I will tell you it is better. It's a better team, but they just didn't get as many wins.
Yeah, and they lost one finals to Toronto.
Yeah, but I don't count that. Everybody was hurt, so that was bound to happen. But they blew a 3-1 lead. You blew a 3-1 lead to the Cavs for that for the Warriors team we were talking about. Like, you didn't win the NBA Finals, so I can't say you're the best. So I guess I will say it's that Durant team. The Durant Warriors is probably the best team.
I would say either that or early 2010 Miami Heat.
Yeah.
They lost to Dirk in 11.
Man,
but Dirk had a legacy.
Dirk was unreal, and he had a good team behind him, too. A lot of people don't give credit to that team that he had. He had, like, Jason Kidd and Sean Marion. He had a lot of good guys.
Jason Kidd, Jason Terry.
Yeah, Jason Terry.
Sean Marion.
Yeah. He had some great players on that team, but Dirk obviously was just unreal, man. One of my favorite players of all time.
So they made the finals in 11. Lost to Dallas, and then they beat the Spurs back-to-back 12 and 13, part of it being thanks to Ray Allen.
Mm-hmm.
I would still give slight edge to Miami just because their roster went deeper as far as talent.
Yeah, they had the Birdman on the bench.
Flapping his wings.
Yeah, man.
LeBron, D-Wade, Bosh, Ray Allen off the bench. Ray Allen was still Ray Allen, even though he was older. And they still had some other NBA vets who maybe aren't Hall of Famers, but they were still solid.
They have Haslam at that point. Was he on that team?
They still had Udonis Haslam. They had Mike Miller, Shane Battier.
Yeah. Good team.
Yeah.
No wrong answers here. I was just kind of curious because, everybody's going to default if you just ask best team of all time. A lot of people are going to say that Bulls team, so I just knew by taking them out of the picture, I was kind of curious what you would say. So, interesting.
Yeah. Now, real quick, if they were all in their prime, it'd be a different story. But the early to mid 2010s Brooklyn Nets teams, when they had Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett.
Yeah.
They weren't good. They were old.
Yeah. That team would have been pretty good. If we were looking at like teams that if we would have had the prime, I think the greatest team of all time, if they were their prime, would have been that 04 Lakers team that had Kobe, Shaq, Karl Malone, Gary Payton. That would have been the best team of all time. If
Kobe and Shaq were still good.
They were in their prime. Kobe and Shaq were in their prime, but Gary Payton and Karl Malone definitely were not. So if you would have had them at their prime, I think it would have been the best team ever.
Wasn't there a year or two where Steve Nash was on the team as well with them?
No, Steve Nash was way later. So that was after Shaq left, and that was like the Dwight Howard Laker
That's
experience.
Another what-if team.
Yeah.
Dwight, Kobe, and Steve Nash.
Yeah, but those two guys were old. Kobe was in his prime still, but those two guys were old.
Because Kobe had a long prime.
Kobe was Kobe.
Right. But no, there's quite a few what if teams. No, could you imagine Gary Payton, Karl Malone, Kobe, and Shaq?
Dude, it's just how do you...
We're talking Bulls number of titles.
Yeah. How do you stop that if they were all in their prime? That's like some NBA 2K type stuff going on.
On the blacktop.
Yeah.
You pick your team.
Right.
So it's good. Look back at some sports.
Yeah, it's always fun to talk
history.
about. Yeah, it's always fun to
today.
talk about
I won't share the exact date or what game we're doing yet. I think we're still finalizing some details. But do have a news alert here.
News alert.
JTV will be broadcasting another softball game this year coming up. So that'll be Monday, 2 Mondays from now. Monday, April 27th.
And as soon as we can release the information, we will.
Yes. Even though I'm like half doing that now.
Yeah, but you didn't say
I
teams.
am not going to share what teams it will be, where we'll be at.
Yeah.
We don't want viewer mail.
That's right.
We will anyways.
Yes, we will.
But that's okay. But Monday, April 27th, we'll have high school softball on JTV. And then in May, we'll have a couple of live high school baseball games. And then JTV will be back the day after Memorial Day for the Selby Track and Field Classic. That will not be live, but we will have that that week and weekend. So, and I may be getting a bump onto that.
Hey, nice, dude.
I didn't ask for it.
Well, yeah, but hey, take advantage of it. Why not?
Yeah. I do not have other obligations finally on that day, so
nice.
I will be able to attend in person.
Let's go
to the Selby this year. So, few upcoming dates to watch out for on JTV. April 27th, we'll have softball. So, as soon as I am allowed to tell you the teams and all the info, we will share that with you. So, I think that's it. So, thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency. Thank you to Prate's Place, ORS Photo Galleries, and the Center for Family Health Scoreboard every day online at jtv.tv. So, that's it for us. NBA playoffs start this week. Go Pistons.
Go Pistons.
And go Tigers. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.